Hey there, it's me. Ooh, the brightness. The brightness. Okay, Potomac, let's talk. It was a boring episode, if we're being completely and totally honest, which we are. Um, I'm kind of in this weird, like, juxtaposition. I want them out of New Orleans because I'm tired of the New Orleans conversations, but I also want them to stay in New Orleans because the change of scenery is kind of refreshing. So I'm back and forth about it. Uh, we pick up where we left off last week with Ashley and Candace, having their pregnancy beef. And Giselle says, well, if I had known it would start all this, I wouldn't have said anything. Giselle, you lying heifer, you. You lying heifer, you. You said it to start something. There was no other reason to say, well, Candace doesn't believe you're actually trying to get pregnant without it being to start something. There was no other reason to say that. So they go back and forth for a little while, and then Giselle stands up and puts them out of her room. Everybody under 5'5" or 5'9", however, girl, get out of the room. So that's Ashley and Candace. They go on. Katie and Ashley end up going the next day. Everybody splits up. Katie and Ashley go one place. Robin, Monique, and Karen go another place, and Giselle and Candace go a third place. It was just all over the place. But Katie and Ashley go to a voodoo shop, and quiet as it's kept, I was very surprised to see that white man being, doing the tarot cards. Not because white people don't do tarot cards, because they do, but because it was a voodoo shop in New Orleans. It was a voodoo shop in New Orleans. Where you come from, white man? And he wasn't like Creole, where it's like maybe he white, maybe he not. No, this was a white man. But yeah, they go to his shop. Katie tells us that she had surgery on her hands to stop sweaty palms, and I'm like, what surgery? What surgeries do they have out there where your palm sweat stops? I understand getting Botox injections can stop sweat, like under armpits and in hands, and I think they do feet and back of the knees and child, maybe your crotch. I don't know, girl, but surgery implies cutting open the skin, doing a little yin yang in there, and closing the skin. I was confused, but I'm always confused when I see Katie. They talk about whether or not, the card reader talks to Ashley, and Ashley is trying to figure out if she's going to have this baby or not, and the card reader's like, yeah, girl, you're going to have a baby, basically. But he says that a child is supposed to be the culmination. I don't know if he said culmination, but, excuse me. I just had some chicken nuggets, girl. But a child is supposed to be the culmination of the two parents, not the glue that holds the marriage together. Because she tells him about how their marriage is rocky. And that was just the deepest thing she's ever heard. Just, wow, oh my God. She got really Willow Smith, Red Table Talk. Wow. Like, I was like, girl, it wasn't that deep. It was not that deep. But that's really common sense. Common sense. You know a child ain't the glue that's going to hold the family together because your daddy left you quiet as it's kept, loud as it is. So, like, anybody who didn't grow up with a daddy, most of us, know that a child ain't the glue. I don't understand how you got confused. You didn't keep your daddy. So whatever, girl, whatever. Anywho, over in the swamp, child, Karen, Robin, and Monique are off together, and it's like weird because these are people that we haven't really seen interact by themselves. It's weird, especially Robin, like seeing her without Giselle. It's like, girl, where's your wife? Where's your wife? What is going on? Where is she? Is she coming? Is she on her way? Like, I don't know. You know them couples that you always see together, and then you see one of them at the stove, and you be like, girl, where's that's how I felt seeing Robin without Giselle. And seeing Candace and Monique together was kind of weird to me too, because it's like I'm looking at one of the brown skinned girls and I keep expecting it to be Candace. Did I say Candace and Monique? I meant to say Karen and Monique if I didn't. But I keep looking at one of the brown skinned girls and expecting it to be Candace, but it's Monique, and I'm just like, oh, that's not the one that always be with Karen. That's a whole different heifer. Like, it was weird. But they're in the swamp. They feeding alligators. There's an alligator named Brutus, the alligator. And he just in there, getting a little food and minding his business, swimming. He know that the alligator swamp tour guide is gonna come by with a little piece of meat for him later, so he ain't too worried about life. He just come up and, hey, how y'all doing? Let me get a little meat and go on about his day. He's living the life. They say he's one of the oldest alligators, and he survived alligator hunting and all sorts of stuff. I was like, now, don't they still hunt alligators? I just had some alligator not too long ago, and it was quite delicious, quietly. Quietly. It tasted good to me, honey. I like alligator. But that's my Cajun roots. But yeah, they doing that. Karen gets scared. One of the alligators, she was trying to feed it, and it hissed or it jumped or something, child. And she jumped to the other side of the boat. I was like, all right, Karen, if you would have jumped a foot further, you'd have been in the water with him. Like, girl. But she said something that was really strange to me. She said the fear of the alligator lifted her out of the grief of the death of her parents. I'm like, you can't feel more than one emotion at one time? Lifted her out of the grief? Girl, I'd still be like, oh, my parents are deceased. And I'm afraid of this alligator. Like, it would have been, but whatever. Anywho, Katie and Ashley leave the tarot card reader and go to a lingerie shop, honey. And lingerie is what my granny calls it. And last week, Miss Honey did a review on the Real Housewives of Potomac, and she said something that tickled me. She said that Katie had measly titties. Measly titties. I scrimped. Because wouldn't scrimped be the past tense of scream? Like, dreamt is the past tense of dream. I feel like scrimped is grammatically correct. I say it all the time. And somebody asked me the other day, like, is scrimped? Is that a word? Like, it should be if it's not. Anywho. Girl, this thing is tight. I got this at the regular people's head store. I got it at the regular sized head store, and it feels like it was made for a baby. Anywho, they go in the lingerie shop, honey, and try on the titty tassels, and looking at these pale chest flaps, I never. It was like, girl, it wasn't for me. It was not for me. At some point, Ashley apologizes to Monique for shade, that she gave Monique during last season about the pregnancy and the drinking, I guess. Y'all know I quit watching halfway through last season because Candace got on my nerves. She got on my nerves. I'm learning, we're growing. Me and Candace's relationship is growing, but I didn't want to see her last season. Let's see. After Ashley apologized to Monique, Candace apologized to Ashley for getting aggressive with her the night before about the baby or whatever, whether or not she wanted to have a baby. I just really feel like, girl, you are picking a ridiculous hill to die on to Candace. Whether or not this girl is drinking, whether she wants to have a baby or not, what does it have to do with you? Why is that your storyline? That's why I don't really like Ashley, because for the past 3 seasons, are we on season 4 or 5? So the past 3 seasons, I think, is we're on season 4, if I'm not mistaken. Her storyline has basically been trying to figure out other people's business, and that's not a storyline. That's not a storyline. That's nosy. You could do that off the show. Let's see. So we do the second line dance, honey, all the way down the street to the daddy's 80th birthday party. Oh, I forgot to talk about when Candace and Giselle got together and went to Dookie Chase. Apparently Giselle worked for the Clinton administration and the NAACP, and that's where she met Jamal Bryant. Okay. And Candace worked for the Obama administration, and so she thought it would be good to take Candace to Dookie Chase and meet with Leah Chase. And they talked about how, civil rights and how they used to feed Martin Luther King and them when they'd come to the city, and, all of that. It was really nice. Miss Leah looked really good for her age, especially, but just in general, she looked really good. She was 95 when they were recording. And it turns out that she actually died the week the episode aired, so it was kind of surreal seeing her on screen and knowing that she literally had just passed away. But yeah, they talked to her, and the first black mayor and the first woman mayor of New Orleans, she was there as well, and they chitted and chatted and had a good time, child. What's going on right here? I try to make this bonnet presentable for the girls, but it's just a bonnet. There's not a lot you can do with a bonnet. My mama tried to dress hers up yesterday and make it fancy, but we'll talk about that at another time. So at Giselle's daddy's 80th birthday party, Giselle runs into her ex-boyfriend, Steve. Steve. Steve looked like a blob. He looked like the Mucinex germ. You know, the little mucus germ to be on the Mucinex commercials. The mucus blob. That's what Steve looked like. I was like, Steve, what is the definition of your face? Like, he ain't have no cheek, like no contour, no. He just looked gelatinous. He looked blobby. Very blobby. He looked like Flubber. Like I expected, what's our boy's name? Robin Williams. May he rest, to pop up and just be like, it's Flubber. Like, he just did not look human. I don't know, but that's Giselle's ex-man, and they were sitting there reminiscing, reunited, and it feels so good, girl. I didn't care at all. But Karen walks up. Now, Karen, I'm going to have to talk to you about those back rolls. I'm looking at the TV, and my mom was like, girl, look at her back. I look up from taking my notes. I see Karen's back just cascading over the back of her backless dress. You should not have a muffin top in the center of the back of your body. I never. It distressed me. But Karen walks over and meets Steve, the gelatinous blob. And she says, well, how long were y'all dating? He says, oh, about 1.5 years. And she's like, oh, so you dated for 1 year and then she got rid of you. She has a history of doing that. And, we're just trying to help our friend. I'm like, oh, now she your friend? She your friend right now? All of a sudden, she your friend. Okay. All right. Friend. That friend struck me the wrong way. Let's see. Ashley at the party, at the 80th birthday party, Ashley asked Candace about this apology. Candace says, I apologize for being aggressive, but I don't apologize for what I said. I stand by what I said. And I'm like, girl, who cares whether the girl's trying to get pregnant or not? Who cares? Not I said the cat. Not I said the dog. And then Ashley gets all heated. And I'm like, well, sis, why did you ask her about the apology if you didn't want to talk about the apology? Because in a moment she was like, I don't really want to talk about this anymore. Like, girl, you asked, you brought it up. Ugly, just ugly. At some point, girl, I'm trying to make this episode interesting, but it really wasn't. At some point, I guess Giselle asked Candace to come and sing happy birthday to her daddy. Here comes Candace. Happy birthday to... I'm like, oh my God. I don't want to talk about Candace's singing because I was watching somebody else's video at one point, a YouTuber, and they were talking about Candace's singing, but they are pitchy. Now, I'm not trying to be messy, but it's like, girl, you also, and I don't want to be like, well, Candace sounded like, and then y'all be like, well, when you sing in your videos, you sound like, so I'm not going to talk about Candace's singing. I'm just going to say I didn't enjoy it. That's what I'm going to say. But while she's singing, here comes Ashley singing off key and loud, and I'm just like, Ashley, girl, we're singing happy birthday to Mr. Curtis. This is not the time for you to try to be shady towards Candace. This is not the time. Later, girl, at another time, we go to, I think they went to Cafe Du Monde, and Monique goes home because, girl, she had done all that second line dancing and carrying on. She's tired. She's pregnant. So she goes back to the hotel room. Everyone else goes to Cafe Du Monde, and they have, beignets, and we're sitting and we're talking, and Giselle is talking about how she went back out with Steve at some point in time, Steve the gelatinous blob, in the middle of the night, and the girls are like, oh, is that why you rushed us home? You didn't want to do anything else last night? And she was like, no, not really. One of y'all had on flats, and the other one was yawning, and this one's grieving, and here comes Karen. Karen, Giselle, why do you have to say it like that? This one's grieving. Because you're grieving. I didn't understand. Like, Giselle is messy. She's messy. She's playing games. She, for some reason, took great offense to Karen being in the hotel room on Facebook Live or Instagram Live without, going out with them. I wouldn't want my 70-year-old auntie to come clubbing with me, but Giselle was very upset about it. But I didn't really take her saying that Karen's grief. I didn't take her taking that moment and making it a thing. She was just saying, y'all was tired, sleepy, grieving, like y'all didn't, I cut the night short early. But Karen goes and says, well, we're stepping out of grief. We're not saying grief anymore. And it's like, what do you call it? Sadness because somebody died? There's a word for it. It's grief. Karen just, I didn't understand, but they go back and forth about that for a little while, and then they have an argument about Sherman. Girl, I'm so sick of hearing about Sherman. I'm so sick of hearing about Sherman. Oh, I'm so sick of hearing about Sherman. Yes, I'm so sick of hearing about Sherman. Like, I gotta get my old lady church singing voice on, because I'm so sick of hearing about Sherman. And Giselle is giving, I'm not going to talk to you about Sherman. We decided we're not going to talk about Sherman, with you, because Sherman's ex-wife, blah, 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 blah. It was so boring. And at some point, towards the end of the episode, Giselle is saying, I don't want to have this conversation. I just want to enjoy my beignets. I like to dip my beignets in my hot chocolate. That's how I eat them, and that's how I want to enjoy them. And I was like, beignets, hot chocolate, dip. I was like, that sounds delicious. I love hot chocolate and I love beignets. Dipping the beignet in the hot chocolate sounds like a treat. A treat. I'll be doing that. Thank you so much, Giselle, for the tip. That was the episode. It was boring. I tried to make it as interesting as I could. Don't know if it was. Don't know if you liked it. Don't really care. It's going online anyway. Like, comment, and subscribe, and all the things the YouTubers say, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.